Welcome to the Bettis Musgrove Show, the podcast where personal injury legal expertise meets real-world advice to empower and protect you. Join us as we delve into the critical aspects of personal injury cases, break down legal jargon into actionable insights, and share essential safety tips to help you navigate life's unexpected moments. And now, here are your hosts, Spencer Bettis and Ben Musgrove.
All right, welcome to episode number 17 of the Bettis Musgrove Show. As always, I'm Ben Musgrove. This is my law partner, Spencer Bettis. We own and operate a boutique law firm here in Cumming, Georgia that specializes in personal injury. We bring you this podcast every so often just to give you an idea of who we are, what we do for a living, and shine a spotlight on the community that we live in, including the entire state of Georgia. Today, we are thrilled to be joined by a guest, Mr. Jonathan Hall. Jonathan is I think a new member of the community, relatively new, right?
Relatively new, yes.
Okay. And is quickly becoming a central part of this community, just getting to know everybody and doing great things. So why don't you lead us off? Tell us who you are, where you came from, how you got here, all that good stuff.
Well, thank you, Ben. I appreciate it. I was expecting you to say, this is one of my favorite guests ever.
Well, it will be. Certainly.
That's right. So we'll get to that point after.
Just may yell at you if you don't lean up on the mic. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to get yelled at, right? So I'll try to do what I need to do to make this go well. So I was born and raised in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. My wife and I both, and great place to live. Actually, our kids still live there. All of our family is there. The only person here in the Atlanta area with us is I have a niece that's here with us, and she works for the CDC, and we're excited and proud of her. We came out here because my wife lost her job. We work with a particular corporation, both of us with the same corporation.
Yeah.
And they gave us that notice that said, hey, we love you, but we don't need you anymore. And she had done a lot of work for the corporate office who was here already. So they had asked us to move before that, actually. And I said, no, we're not moving to Georgia. We're going to be here. We're going to be good. And then when that happened, they actually reached back out and said, hey, we understand your role went away. The invitation is still open, and they invited her to come, and it was just up to me to find a job.
Right.
So that was back in 2014. So we've been here a decade.
So you've been here just a little short of what I have. Spencer, he's been here for 400 years. I've been here 13, going on 14. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2014.
Yep. 13, I think, is when we moved here. So no, 11 then. Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay.
you got me beat by a little bit.
Yeah.
Just
slightly.
Yeah, so 11. And we first were living out in Sandy Springs.
Okay.
That was near the corporate office that we work. We were working for Cox Communications.
Yeah.
And just had an apartment there to figure out, because we heard traffic was crazy. So we wanted to kind of give ourselves some time to figure out traffic patterns and what's what before we purchased a home. Right. And then we did that for a while. And then when it came time to purchase a home, we realized in Sandy Springs, they're very proud of their homes there. So we said, okay, maybe not Sandy Springs. And the realtor, my wife, said, well, why don't we try Forsyth County? I'm like, why would you even ask me that?
Right.
Because from the outside coming in, all I'd heard was a bad part of the history.
Right.
So I'm like, babe, why would you even ask me that? And plus the commute's forever. Right. So what are you even talking about? She said, just come take a look. And the real estate person like, just come take a look. And so we drove up, and I noticed that at that time they were building the Kroger, the Super Kroger. And I said, what is that? Is that going to be another Walmart? She says, no, it's going to be a Super Kroger, one of the biggest in all Southeast of America.
I think it's got a bar in it, doesn't it?
It has a bar.
Yes.
And which is crazy.
The Kroger.
They also have, and you can go there right now. There'll be people there, I promise you.
Drinking wine.
Yes, in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
And they also sell clothes. So she was just telling me all these things. And then on the other side, they were building Denmark High School. And so in my mind, I'm calculating, they're building a new high school, they're building Super Kroger. That means they're anticipating, some growth here. And then taxes were lower. And it's really beautiful. Nobody told me how beautiful it was here, the trees, the hills. And so we found a beautiful community, Danbury Farms. And we said, yeah, let's do it. And so I'm so glad to be here. I really didn't get involved in community much until about a year ago, August. It was basically work, church, and home.
Yep. Well, and I want to hear about the work for sure, and the church and home. But tell me this, because you're the first person that's kind of brought up we'll call it darker past.
Yes.
I didn't know about it when I moved to Forsyth County. I had no idea that was the thing. I grew up in Georgia my whole life. But there are some things not to be proud of that had that past.
Yeah.
How do you feel now living here?
It's a great question. I love it here.
Yeah.
And I just feel one of the things I'm called to do is to, especially for other African American men and women, and go, we have a dark past, which is true. We have an even brighter future.
Yeah.
And this is why. And it's very easy to call out things like leadership foresight, things like the leaders in the school system, things like our county commissioners. I mean, there's a lot of great things, a lot of the nonprofits and charities that we have going on here. It's a lot of great things going on. So now I feel better about it. Early on, I just didn't know before I got here, but instantly, I remember when we looked at the property lot, we had neighbors across catty corner in the cul-de-sac. And they were like, are you guys moving in? Right, we'd love to have you. I mean, instantly.
Right.
They would text us, they're pulling your driveway today. I mean, so it was an immediate acceptance and warmth feeling that I did not expect.
Yeah.
So it's been, for me, phenomenal.
That's awesome.
To be here. So yeah, I love it. We've been here 6 years now.
It's funny, but we just had some neighbors move in from New Jersey. She got transferred down here, and as soon as they moved in, like the trucks hadn't even left the driveway yet, and neighbors are bringing over cookies and pies and saying, welcome to the neighborhood. And I think they were a little freaked out about it at first. I didn't really know what to do with it. And they've told us since then, like, that just doesn't happen where we came from. Like, people aren't, we shut our garages, we go inside, we don't talk to our neighbors. And it's just not the way it is around here.
So I'm getting a little soft because I left the garage door open overnight once. And I'm like, and where I grew up, it's kind of the hood. That would just not be what you would do. And I'm like, this place is getting to me. But it is a great place to live.
It blows my wife's mind. I'm 40 years old. I've never had a house key to any house that I've ever lived in.
That's crazy, dude. Where are you from?
I'm from Georgia. Grew up in West Georgia. Been here for a while now.
That is unheard of from where
I don't know if I should put that out to the public.
It's too late. There now. And he's not going to edit that. That is not. That's going to stay in.
There for the taking.
That's right. That's right. That's awesome. So yeah, I love it here. It's been a great experience.
Awesome. Well, tell us, so you had to find a job. What'd you find?
Yeah, so I transferred initially with Cox Communications, my wife and I both. So I had to kind of go through the hiring process. She kind of was a shoe-in, and then did a lot of project management work there for them. And then I got laid off in 2016. And that's when I really leaned into my own business as a men's wardrobe style consultant. I've always loved dressing nice and helping my friends out. I've been doing it since I was a little kid.
That jacket's on point.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Always dressed.
Thank you.
On point.
So I just always loved it. And so I had people, I was helping somebody here, a friend of mine, and they said, so how much do I owe you? And I said, it's nothing. He says, no, dude, this is Atlanta. People pay for that,
right.
And so I went out and started my business. And so I was doing that and working for the company. Then they laid me off. So I just dug in full time, joined a chamber. At this point, I was still in the Sandy Springs area and just started digging in, because to be an entrepreneur is a different mindset than working for corporate America. And what I didn't understand completely was that when I worked for the corporation, because I had done a lot of things with them and had great opportunities, when I walk into a room at a chamber meeting or a networking event, I kind of had the flag of that company hanging over me.
Right.
Oh, that's Jonathan Hall. He's with so-and-so corporation. So it was easier to make connections.
Yeah.
Well, when I had my own business, I did not have that banner. It was me. And so I had to create my own brand and be confident in that. So I had to learn how to walk in that space like that. So there was a lot of difference. So I literally hired a coach to kind of help me think more like an entrepreneur. And then a couple of months later, corporate came to me and they gave me an offer I couldn't refuse, but I still had a different mindset. I said, okay, now I'm just not an employee. I have my own brand, and this is one of my clients. This is what I bring to this corporation. So I went in and I started a Toastmasters club. I started some professional development programs. So it was just a different mindset.
Yeah.
And I was primarily a senior project manager. And then the Lord was kind of egging me on, going, no, we need you to go ahead and leave and do your own thing.
Right.
But in my mind, I'm like, okay, I've been through the unemployment thing already.
Yeah.
I said, Google and Microsoft aren't coming to me asking me to go to work for them. What do you mean? And the Lord just really pressed on me. I need you to just do what you're doing for this company for yourself. So in August of 2023, I left that company, and everybody was kind of shocked. What's going on? What are you doing? And I just leaned into my men's style consulting business. I also started helping women And I also started doing public speaking
Yep.
and lifestyle coaching, because a lot of the things I did for the corporation was helping people with their professional development. And so I just do that for myself now. I think our clients are entrepreneurs and some are trying to get C-suite roles.
Yeah.
And just help them navigate that space. So yeah, that's what I do.
What's the name of your business?
So it's basically my name, Jonathan JMH Consulting, or JMH Consulting. And I thought about other names, and I had somebody that I was working with say they made the mistake when they left corporate that they came up with this fancy name, spent a lot of money for marketing companies, nothing more marketing companies, but they came up with this name, and when they started advertising, nobody recognized them. So rather to spend a lot of effort, and they said, just use your name. Your name is a brand. People will recognize that. And I'm like, oh, I think that's not work. But I had to learn to trust those folks. And so many of my clients are people that I used to work for. They want to transition. They go, I've seen what you do in corporate America. I know you and I trust you. So why would I work with anybody else? Just so I can.
What's that like on a daily basis? Like when you're advising folks, what do you focus on?
It's a great question. People used to say, well, I saw you on LinkedIn, or I saw you online, or somebody referred you to me. So I need some help because I'm an entrepreneurial and I need to go to the next level on the type of clients I have. And it all starts off with a questionnaire and it's really quick and easy. And I ask about 10 questions. If I'm doing wardrobe styling or if I'm doing lifestyle, coaching, it's a separate, but I just ask 10 questions to better understand what their needs are, because everybody's different.
Yeah.
It's not cookie cutter, right? So I ask those questions and then I just get an idea what they need. And then I just drive toward that. They go, you know what? I really am a senior manager right now, so I need to kind of dress the part. But that doesn't always mean a suit, because you have to ask, what is the culture of the environment that you're working at? So that's important. What are you comfortable in? And so that's how it starts out. And then once I know that, I create a plan for them. Maybe they need custom wear because of their body type, or maybe they just like more expensive, materials.
Sure.
Or maybe we can just go somewhere and get some things up the rack. Maybe they kind of have a flashy, personality. If I Spencer, then that's.
So they're accused me of having flashy, but we got this man in a custom suit last year, and I think you'd agree with me. Once you put on a custom suit, you'll never go back to the rag you're at.
Yeah,
That's a different world.
it is.
Although I had to figure out which courtroom I should wear it. There, some areas they might look at that see.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because I think it's important to understand the audience as well. So for me, I started with the questionnaire. Then we have a complimentary consult, and then I present the package and the pricing, and we kind of go from there. So it's just, so most of my clients are referrals, but now that I'm completely out of my own, I have to be more assertive and appetizing, things of that sort.
Yeah. You have a huge social media presence, I feel like.
That's very nice to do.
I feel like every time, like it'd be 6 o'clock in the morning, I look at my feed and I'll see it. You post a picture with somewhere with someone almost every day.
Yep.
So what's your strategy with that? How does that help your business?
Great questions. Again, I reach out to people that I know and trust that do well in those areas. So literally, I had somebody come to me and just say, you probably should do more on social media. And I'm like, yeah, I always are, And they were like, no, you really didn't need to. And then what got me was I did not understand, Spencer, that there was data behind the wall on TikTok, on LinkedIn, on, Instagram. And so me being, formerly doing Six Sigma and project management, that really got my attention and resonated with me, the data.
Right.
So I'm like, okay. So it literally talks about demographics. It even has what time of the day are people viewing, how long are they viewing your particular post.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, with this data, that would help me market myself, facing it at no cost. And so when I understood that, that's when I had to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, because I really didn't like being in front of the camera. I really felt vain at who I go calling. I drew a picture, I put it on my phone. It's just kind of like, investing in ring life and the proper lighting and maybe some apps, and really understanding how to edit, and so that I had to really change and understand that it is important. And now I am more recognized, which is great. I have people that are more comfortable and familiar with me, because even if people hear about me or if I meet someone, usually they do their research. And in today's time, research is social media.
It is.
So it's definitely important, but I still have to, based on the people that have helped me and that are helping me, I'm still not doing it enough.
Right. I'd say that one of the hardest things I've ever done is embracing social media, because I don't have that kind of personality. I don't take pictures of myself. I don't like to talk about myself. And you put me in a courtroom with jurors and I'm fine. Perfectly comfortable. We'll talk all day. I'll ask you for a bunch of money. But you step through some of that. Hey, I've got to talk to a camera, and it's just the most awkward thing for me to do. And I feel like I'm getting more comfortable with it the more we do these podcasts and just getting us, in the reels and the things that we do. And slowly but surely you get more comfortable with it. But in 2024, if you're not on social media, people won't see you. They won't see, and that's it. Like it's incredible. So I hate it, but I'm embracing it.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good, because I've learned that even when I get new clients, like I have a former VP hire me to help her son who recently got his master's degree. So really he's got his first job. He's really got a dress, because all he's got is goodies and sweats, right? That's all they needed as a college student. And one of the things that they told me was that when the parents spoke to him about me, and she said, "Oh, he's on IG. He's on there cigarette."
Yep.
Okay, well, he must be good there.
Yeah.
So it literally gives you credibility
Yeah.
in certain areas. And I think when you think about marketing and what that means today, to be successful, you need to embrace that. Or you got to be the next blockbuster. So we both just have to be uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. That's okay.
It's so yes, sir. My cousin, when we first started running the ads on Facebook and Instagram, he screenshot his phone and sent it to me and said sponsor, up in the corner where we paid for the ad. He's like, "I guess you made it, man. You got sponsored." And I'm like, "What? But you don't realize that costs like $30. Hey, that really doesn't mean a whole lot. But yeah, man, I made it. Right here, let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. So it's all going to get better. Yeah, exactly. It's all going to get more fun. And just got to embrace it and go with it. So yeah.
What's your favorite part of being an entrepreneur, solo guy?
Man, that's a great question. My favorite part is I get to help who I want to help.
Yep.
And it's more of my decision. I get to do more of what I want to do. Now, the other side of that is that not every activity is what I call a RGA, a revenue generating activity.
Very few elect.
So I had to kind of weigh that out. But like when I was with corporate, there are people that I wanted to develop professionally because that was a passion of mine. And they said, "That's not your job. We understand you started a Toastmasters club. We understand you started this professional development program." A bunch of those programs officially rolled under, some of the talent development, roles, their departments. They said, "But your primary role is senior project manager. So that's what we need you to do." So now I don't have that limitation. So that's probably one of the favorite parts. Like if I want to have somebody, I can go with somebody. So I love that. I got it.
So big question I have based on what you just said. Yeah, what is a Toastmasters club?
It's a great question. So Toastmasters is an international club that helps people become better leaders and professional speakers. And so one of the key things about that is that you could have a brilliant idea. If you don't know how to articulate it well, people go, "Well, you could have the right audience, and you the mic and they give you the floor, but you're kind of stuttering and stammering and really can't get to the point quickly and succinctly, right? You will lose them." And so that's why understanding the importance of public speaking and articulating well is so key. Yeah, but they don't just stop with the public speaking part. It's like, how do you run a meeting?
Yeah.
How do you become a better leader? How do you run a meeting? So those skills are very critical because, again, you have a lot of people that have brilliant ideas and maybe they don't know how to articulate it well. Maybe they're like really shy or hesitant. And so Toastmasters has a great program that helps people maximize those skills.
I have a story about Toastmasters. So when I was a brand new baby attorney, we had an intern that worked with us. His name's Kevin Kim. He's an immigration attorney now. You need an immigration attorney, call Kevin. He's awesome. Kevin came from South Korea, a long time ago, like 30 years ago. Didn't speak a word of English. Had worked his way up, and he actually would buy movie scripts, and he would watch the movie and read the scripts, and that's how he taught himself to speak English. Crazy. But he still spoke with a very thick accent. Couldn't understand him great. He was in law school at the time. He was mid-40s. Put himself through law school, and he joined Toastmasters just so he could stand up in front of people and talk and figure out how to become a better public speaker. Now he's spectacular. So it works.
Yeah, and it's amazing how it's one of humans' greatest fears. And it's one of the things I'm most comfortable doing. So as a part of lifestyle coaching, I help people with that too and how to figure it out. Because if you cannot articulate your ideas well, it will be very difficult to be profitable or even in a non-profit situation to get your message out.
Do you work with your clients on speaking?
It depends on what the leads are. Some of them are good and some of them think are good. Some of them just don't need it. But yeah, if they do need it, I may recommend them to Toastmasters or I may just help them, in some other scenarios. But yeah, I just love it because I'm very passionate about helping people be the best they can be.
Okay. Well, let's move on to your community work. And I got a lot of that.
Yeah.
Tell us about some of the programs that these whatever maybe you're involved with.
Wow. So the same month, August of 2023, that I left my corporate job, the Lord said, well, I want you to go ahead and start this organization called Brothers of Foresight. And I was like, okay, Jesus. I don't know. Some people may go, I can't believe you talk to Jesus that way, but I get out their perspective. I said, hey, man, I just left my company, and when I left them, they didn't offer me a service package because I left them. And so I said, now you want me to do this? He said, yeah, I want you to bring together the African-American men here in Passaic County and build relationships of integrity with each other. Because number one, men don't build relationships well. Right. Number two, African-American men really don't do it well. And number three is an African-American man in Passaic County, you are walking around just kind of wondering, I mean, everywhere you go, it's in the back of your mind because of the history. So he said, that's why I need you to do that. So I said, okay, I would literally go through my phone and I said, okay, I've got 10 guys that live up here. And we had our first meeting. We just met for breakfast and 14 guys showed up because I said, just bring a friend, and only knew 7 of them. And so we just got to know each other. And I said, we're just here to build relationships of integrity with each other based on biblical principles. And so we'll continue to do so. So we just continued to do that. And then about 6 months in, I said, we also want to build relationships with the leaders in Forsyth County. Because as a member of both the Forsyth, what I want you to understand is that you have other African-American men that you can build relationships with. And you're not here in Forsyth County alone. It is a great place, and we emphasize the greatness of it. But also build relationships with leaders with the school system, with law enforcement, economic development and education system, so that if there comes a time you go, you know what, I really want to add more value to this community because it is a great community. You have a contact there because you met them. You have some information because when they come talk to our group, they share about what they do. And it's nothing like having somebody that wants to be in a leadership role and they have no contacts, no context, and no information. So I really try to resolve that. So if somebody wants to go for the board, they met somebody on the board of the school district, they know a little bit about what's going on, and they have us to support them as well. So Brothers of Foresight was a year old in August, and so that's been phenomenal. And
Congratulations on the year. That's awesome.
Thank you. So I never thought I would make it. I thought, okay, after the first month, who's going to come back? Why would they come back? And then the guys that I've just developed relations with has been phenomenal. And then they said, hey, I need you to meet this person. And they said, this is a part of One Foresight. And so that's how I got connected there. And they said, I need you to, meet somebody at the chamber. And then I joined the chamber, obviously being an entrepreneur. And then I met somebody that was on the board of Mentor Me that said, hey, have you thought about being on the board of Mentor Me? So I had that process and through that and joined the Mentor Me board on to do so back this past August. So it was literally a year anniversary after starting Brothers of Foresight. I was honored to be on the board of Mentor Me, which if I had to say yes to that challenge, I don't know if any of that would have happened, and I probably would be sitting here with you today. And also, through context, became a member class of 2025 of Bishop Foresight, the greatest class ever.
Right, that's the Woody Guardian. So we've talked about Brothers Trud a lot, but tell us about Mentor Me. What is that?
Mentor Me is a great organization here that is really addressing the fact that a lot of our young people, they need mentors, especially now today. When we talk about we talked about AI earlier, we talked about the internet, those things can be so isolated. And then coming through COVID for our young people. So if you are already focusing on your phone, and you maybe had somewhat of a personality where you like to be isolated, and then you had COVID come, a lot of our young people need mentors, somebody they can trust and just have somebody to give a listening ear.
Right.
Mentor Me actually was born out of, leadership foresight years ago. So that's phenomenal. So they really work with the school systems and other organizations to make sure that the young people have mentors, people that can listen, people that help them through everyday life. Because everyday life for our young people is a lot different than it was when I was a kid. So
Yeah,
that's what I love about Mentor Me.
That's cool. Is it through the schools or is it
They're their own entity.
Okay.
But they do work closely with Forsyth Public Schools and other organizations as well.
Very neat.
Yeah.
One of their big members is Rachel Kern, who's in our Leadership Forsyth class.
You're right. Yeah. So a great organization. Yep.
Let's talk a little more about Brother Forsyth.
Yeah.
So is that group grown?
It has. We probably have about 40 members from that first 14 that were there in August 2023. We're not a nonprofit as of yet. I've been going back and forth whether I want to go down that road or not. But really my goal is to make sure that these African American men in this county understand that this is a great place to live and really show real activities and show people that are willing to contribute to the greatness of this county. Obviously recognizing where we've been, but obviously understand that where we're going is even better. So for example, we had Alex Warner, who is, VP of Economic Development for Ford Forsyth, who recently accepted the role and be transitioning to CEO of the Chamber come March. So I'm really excited about that. So he was at our meeting. We had Council Chairman Alfred John at our meetings, Cumming Police Chief PJ Gervin. So those are the kind of people that I'm trying to bring in so we can connect with. And so when they come to our meetings, breakfast meeting, we only ask them 3 questions. What's a day in the life like for you? What are some of your pain points and how we can help you? So we don't invite them with a list of, complaints.
Right.
By the way, why are my taxes so high? Why is there a pothole over here? Why is my kid not doing well in school? So we want to know more about them and their role and how we can help them. So it goes both ways.
Yeah.
So the community leaders can understand, wow, there's a group of African American men here that I didn't realize were here. Right. Number one. Number two, they're interested in what they can do to add value to the community. The other way, for the members of Brothers of Forsyth, they can literally see leaders and go, okay, I am connected to this leader through a real life conversation. I actually got to talk to them and ask them questions, and they told me more about what a day in life is like for them. So I better understand what's going on in the school system. Better understand what's going on in the police department. Like one question they asked PJ, I should say, I don't want to just say PJ.
The chief.
I don't want to be disrespectful, but Chief PJ was that, why do you not have more African American men on the police force?
Yeah.
And one of the things I love about the chief is he's not scared of those kind of questions. He talked about how he has a couple now and he's trying to get more. He used to be on the force in Atlanta, and he's trying to get more here now, African American men and women. But the first thing that comes to many of their minds is the history.
Right.
And so they're like, you know what, I'm good. So even though he's trying to do it, he's like, if you know somebody that's qualified, have them come have a conversation with me. I would love to have them. So as a member of Brothers of Forsyth, your image of the police force is instantly changed.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because you've met the police chief. He's talked about, I would love to have more. I'm having trouble getting more, and this is why. So can you help me? So that's a way for us to help. So when you think about that, and also many of them said their experiences with the police force has been phenomenal. One gentleman said that he got pulled over. He was speeding. The police officer, correct, he was speeding. He said when the police officer said, hello, sir, and addressed him and his wife as sir and ma'am, he was shocked because the city where he was from, that had never happened.
Wow.
Right.
But by the end of the meeting, he said, this is going to be the first time I've ever shaken the hand of a police officer, because his experience have always been negative. Now, obviously there's negative in any industry, but for this particular individual, for Chief PJ to come and answer those questions and just to show what he's legitimate, because he is legitimate, and answer those questions.
Yeah.
And that led to a change in this person's heart. So that's important.
Well, credit to PJ. I mean, he's done a phenomenal job with the city and Sheriff Freeman too. I mean, the county, it's a great group that we got serve the community and protecting us. So, and I've always found them, not that I've been pulled over a lot, but to be very nice and respectful when they do pull you, or try to de-escalate the situation before it gets started. That's cool that you guys are reaching out and getting involved.
Yes.
And my dad always said growing up, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot to that. Not that you're trying to get to know these guys for any favors or you're trying to anything sort of nefarious, but you just want to be involved and know these people.
Mhm.
And went to an event last night where they're like the biggest thing you can do is just have somebody's phone number and they know your name. So when you text them, it's automatic. I know this guy. He's just not some stranger asking for something. You got to be involved. I mean,
That's true.
It's huge.
I do get that question often. Okay, what is Brothers of Foresight trying to do?
Right.
What are you guys, what's your motive? And again, I just say, we're just trying to build relationships of integrity with each other based on biblical principles and build relationships with leaders in the community so we can find out how we can add value. When you get that information, your mindset changes. We have people with the school district come, you go, oh, okay. So, and that person says, if you have a question or concern, reach out to me. Your perspective is just so much different about the situation. And that's how you build great community.
It is. And stepping outside the comment box on social media, actually getting to know somebody, whether it's a commissioner, police chief, or just a local real estate agent. You got to know that person, not just what the public's saying about them.
Yeah, and thanks for the plug on Sheriff Freeman. I'm trying to get him to come.
All right, well,
So if you can connect me, that'd be fantastic.
See if we can't pull some strings.
All right. I get confidence in you.
Yeah. What else you got, Spence?
Let's talk about leadership for science. Us in the class right now.
Mm-hmm.
Alumni?
Are you really?
21.
Okay.
21.
Okay. All right.
I'm not going to say the greatest class ever. We had a good time.
Well,
I know I'm not obligated.
You does not feel that way. It is not an obligation.
No, we were during the COVID period, so we were shut down on largely what we could do.
Yeah.
Still met some awesome people. I love the group. It's a phenomenal organization, but I didn't mean to.
Yeah, 2025.
Okay.
Yeah, great class.
Yes, we have a great class. We are creating legacy. So you are seeing it right here, right now. So just take a picture today because it'll be worth something.
Well, that's how I met Jonathan. But something we had talked about is, why did you join Leadership for Sight? What was your purpose in doing so?
It's a great question. Somebody had mentioned it to me. It just happened once I said I'm going to be a part of this community now. When everything changed in August of 2023, I heard somebody talk about Leadership Foresight, and then I literally Googled it, and I'm like, I want to be a part of that, but the window wasn't open to apply.
Yeah.
So I said, I just got to stay in contact with it. Anything that will help me learn more about the community and be more engaged as a leader. And it really went well with the things I was doing with Brothers of Foresight already. Yeah. But I really didn't know what to expect. And then on orientation, where this older statesman got up and started talking. He said, well, I'm glad y'all had a little fun with games here, but I'm going to get to something a little more serious. And I thought, I wonder what he's going to talk about. He says, I'm going to address some of the history here in Forsyth County. I'm like, I'm sure he's not going to talk about what I think he's going to talk about. And then he said in 1920, and then he just told the story of his life.
Yeah.
And ended up being your dad.
Yep.
When I heard that, just in that 45 minutes of him talking, I said, if I learn nothing else, this has been worth it.
It's one of the more riveting, I don't know what you call it, speech, but just lessons that I've ever heard. I mean, literally, it'll bring tears to your eyes when Mr. Bettis tells you about that.
I was just, and so I'm like, yep, I am supposed to be here. So I really wanted to learn. I wanted to be a better leader. I wanted to learn more about the community. I just wanted to get connected. And I am an introvert. So I'm very sure. So any shortcuts I can make to meeting people, I am all about. And I thought I'll be in a classroom with them for 9 months. So it'd be easy to connect with people without having to, really go hard in networking, right, with a bunch of people I don't know. So that's one of the things I really love about it. And it's been fascinating to come in and have leaders come into the community and talk, to tour things around the city. It has been
see the behind the scenes stuff.
The scenes.
Wow, the things that happen that you have no idea are happening.
And I was just so impressed that when I got there after my first couple of sessions, I'm like, oh, this is just a bunch of leaders that want to be better leaders, because we have some phenomenal people in our class, and it's a little intimidating. I'm like, whoa, okay, that person is already a leader. So if they want to be in here, I'm definitely in the right spot. So yeah, I'm very grateful, and I'm doing the best I can to maximize the opportunity. So I know I asked a lot of questions in class, but I've learned that that's one of the ways that you learn and grow, no matter who you are, what age or what season you are in life, is ask questions.
Yep. And I'm teasing about not having the greatest class. I mean, I've still got great friends out of the class. Still stay in contact today. It's a phenomenal group. So anybody that wants to join Leadership Sites, I highly recommend that you apply and get involved and
Definitely.
see what these guys are seeing right now.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, maybe slightly under halfway through.
I was gonna say y'all graduate May-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
It's been amazing.
it's been great.
What's your class project? Have y'all picked that yet?
It just got approved
Okay.
hours ago.
Are you allowed to say?
Yes. Yeah, we had to go through a couple of iterations, and the board just approved it earlier today.
Very cool.
So yeah, we're excited.
It's fun stuff.
Well, let's get to the fun part. All right. Well, I've got to have myself a little bit. Advice. So,
Oh yeah.
what advice would you give to someone that's looking to be an entrepreneur like you?
What advice would I give to somebody that's looking at being an entrepreneur? I would draw a graph. I would say, what are you good at, right? And I would say, what do you like to do? Draw that another line. What are people willing to pay for? And I would draw, at least start out with those 3 lines. What are you good at? What do you like to do? And what do you think people will pay for? And also, where is there a need? Where those 4 lines intersect, you have an opportunity. Now, you have to work your butt off.
Every day.
You have to get help. You need to have people advise you. There are going to be seasons up and down. There are going to be days that you go, why am I doing this? And that's a part of it. Ideally, you have a cushion financially where that'll allow you to make some mistakes and get through some things. And what you start off doing, you may have to pivot. You may have to move, and that's okay. And just understand all of that and get you a coach. So if you are married, your spouse has to be 100% in, not 50. That's my personal advice.
Right. You couldn't be more right.
Not wrong. Yeah. So I think, so if you figure out those 4 things, get some people to help you, get you, have the finances straight and have your spouse's support, I think that you have a good start. But understand you will have to pivot, and that's okay.
I want to piggyback on the advice question. Advice for somebody moving to Forsyth County from outside. What's the first thing they should do getting here, getting involved?
First thing they should do, if they're an entrepreneur, join the chamber.
Okay.
If they're not an entrepreneur, join the chamber on behalf of your company. Have them sponsor you. Sign up for Leadership Foresight as soon as you can.
Okay.
And attend city council and county meetings.
Love it.
That's what I would do.
I need to attend some council meetings.
Yeah.
All right. So you may have kind of already hit on this. Okay. Answer is the same. That's okay. But if you could give some advice to your younger self, just starting out.
Wow. If I could give some advice to my younger self, I would say you were created the way you are for a reason. I'm very particular about a lot of things. The way I dress, the way I conduct myself around people, the words that I use. I'm very particular about that. And it used to just get on my nerves because people around me weren't necessarily like that. So I found myself a lot in my head going, dude, why you like that? Dude, just chill, just calm. And then as I got older, I'm like, oh, I'm like that for a reason. And so I think that I would be more of I would embrace that earlier. Now, there are some tendencies that we all have that are boneheaded and that you shouldn't do.
Sure.
Selfishness, rudeness, immaturity, those things you need to weed out, right? But I think that there are certain unique characteristics and quality that differentiate you from others, and you should embrace those things. I would have done that earlier.
I like it.
That's one. All right. Now we are going to get to fun.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to change this up a little bit. I don't think you drive either one of these. We typically say Chevy or Ford. But what's your car? What do you like?
What is my car? What am I driving, or what do I like?
What do you like?
Oh, okay. Well, it's different. So,
There is a difference. Well, not for me, but I love Porsche.
okay.
And so I've been driving Porsche for the last 3 or 4 years. So I love that. It was always been something I wanted to drive. I love the way that they manufacture it. Those cars are just a little different than others. And so I love them. How long will I drive one? I'm not sure, but I've always wanted one. My family's like, Dad, why don't you get it? You've always been driving other things and putting others first. And so I love that car.
How does it make you feel when ignorant rednecks like me say Porsche?
I just go, that's okay. They don't know.
They don't know any better.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
You know, but what I don't like about it is that I'm treated differently.
Okay.
Because I'm a Toyota guy, Hyundai. I love those cars. I've had Lexus. I've always had cars that are very dependable, hold their value, have great warranties. So this is definitely something different that I've always done.
Yeah.
But when I'm in the Hyundai, people kind of go, whatever. You know, I've had people approach me just because they see me get out of my car.
Yeah.
And I kind of just wish people weren't like that.
You're not wrong. I used to valet park cars all through college, and when you had a Porsche pull in, you just automatically expected that extra $5 tip. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just I don't know. I just think that I feel for people that it's real. First impressions are real. That's something I talk to students about and others all. So that is real. Just humans are. Sure. I just wish it wasn't like that, because I'm the same guy that was in, you know, the broken down car with the oil leak. And I couldn't park in your driveway because I knew my oil leak would put a stain in your driveway. So I would park on the, you know what I mean?
On the asphalt, yeah.
I'm the same guy. So that's just only the sad part about it, that I wish it wasn't like that. And there are days that I won't even drive because I'm like, so I know it's kind of weird. But yeah, so Porsche.
Okay.
Porsche. Not Porsche.
Chain coffee shop or local coffee shop?
I like chain because of convenience, but I'm really trying to focus more on local. And the one I've been going to the most lately is I like the one up in Cumming City Center.
Myth and legend.
Myth and Legend.
That's Spencer's spot.
Yeah, I like that.
stuff.
And then, so yeah, I like that one a lot because it's local and I really want to help more local people. The chains are just so convenient though sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, but I try to go out the way and do local.
Yeah. I'll make a shout out to Community Cup across the street from our office.
Okay.
Great people in there, and the coffee's good too.
Yep.
If you're looking to deviate from myth and legend, which is hard to do. What's the last book you read?
The last book I read, wow, it was probably something that I listened to, audiobook, and it's called The Body Keeps Score, if I'm not wrong. And it talks about how literally the cells of the body can keep score of trauma generationally. And I heard this guy talking on a podcast, and I'm like, how is that true? And then I bought the book and I just thought, this is phenomenal. So again, for African Americans, our history has been very traumatic. And for most of us, it can literally carry through, you know, and then you may feel a certain way about something or anxious about something. And maybe nobody's even taught you about it or talked to you about it because the body keeps score. So it's important that people intervene. And that's another thing that I'm trying to do here to tell the story about Forsyth County. It is a beautiful place. I'm trying to intervene so people have the mindset of the history, maybe some trauma from experience. Because what I think people don't understand is that as an African-American person in America, when somebody says, why don't you come up to Forsyth County? And you're like, you know what? I already have life and it's hard. Why should I add anything else on top of that? And if me moving to that city causes that, why would I do that? And I'm like, well, moving to that city really doesn't cause that. And here's why. But in their mind, they're like, I don't need anything extra. So I'll go ahead and take a slice of life the way it is now, as hard it is,
Right.
and stay where I am because I'm good down here or wherever that is, right? I'm accepted. It's not anything I got to even think about, you know? So yeah, The Body Keeps Score is a phenomenal book.
Okay. Wow.
Little more lighthearted, maybe. What's your favorite denim company? Jeans.
I like Levi's.
Okay.
Because as a wardrobe consultant, Levi's has been around a very long time. And so any company that can stay around for that long of a time, I think is good, no matter what you're doing, what business you're in. But also they've grown to offer different cuts, different colors, and different styles. So, you know, the old 501s were kind of just a straight cut, whatever. But now they got flare leg, they got skinny leg, they got slim fit. So for me too, it's very helpful for my clients because they have all these different sizes and widths and styles. Even if you are kind of a thin frame guy like me, or if you're a former, fullback, so your thighs are tree trunks, Levi's probably has a jean for you. So that's one of the things I love about it. And the quality is great for the price.
I've got several pairs of Levi's in the drawer. I recently discovered 34 Heritage, I believe they're called. I don't know if I'll ever go back. Those things, I've got them on right now. They're amazing.
I love Levi's. Yeah.
Go ahead. What you got?
Snack you?
Yeah, sure. All right. What's one of my favorite ones ever? You get to have dinner with any historical figure of all time. Who you picking and where you going?
Any historical figure of any time. That's easy.
Okay.
I would just go pick Jesus and go, hey man, let's go to, Jerusalem and have dinner. I'll let you pick the menu.
So caveat, because we get Jesus a lot.
Yeah.
Other than Jesus.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah.
It would probably be Denzel.
Okay.
Washington.
Yeah, you're not going to be disappointed.
Yeah, Denzel. So definitely. Yeah, I'm sure you get Jesus a lot. Sorry about that.
No, Denzel.
Good answer.
Yeah.
It should be number one.
That's the first thing that popped in my mind.
Yeah.
In history, I would love ML King, because some of the things, because some of the amazing things about him, people don't understand that he was in college, like when he should have been in high school.
Yeah.
Just phenomenal mind and brain. And he didn't want to be the person, but he was called to be the person. And so that's what I love about humility, which is missing in so many of our leaders today. Many of our leaders, they want to be a leader because of the quote unquote benefits. I'm up front, I get the special whatever and all that. But the people that are most effective, in my experience, and they teach us some of this through leadership foresight, are the people that are humble about it. The people that are strong enough to apologize.
Yeah.
The people that are confident in themselves enough to admit when they're wrong. So to know that ML King didn't want to be the person, but was called to and then stepped up to it is just a phenomenal thing. I think that is lost in history.
So if you get to go to dinner with Denzel or Dr. King, where are you going?
I'm probably going to go to a restaurant down in Atlanta near where King grew up. There used to be a restaurant down there called Beautiful. I don't think it's open anymore.
I don't know.
I heard great things about it.
Okay.
I think I missed out.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So the last meal you ever get to eat, it could be with anybody, but the last meal you get to eat, what is it and where's it from?
The last meal that I get to eat, period. What is it? It is my wife's lamb chops.
Okay.
My wife is a phenomenal cook. We'll go to restaurants and she's thinking, I think I can do this better at home. Probably she will. And I just can't. She's just phenomenal. I'm just so spoiled with the woman that I have.
That's not an easy dish to cook either.
No, she's amazing. And then I'd say second to that would be her sea bass.
Okay.
Yeah. What time is Christmas dinner?
Yeah, she's great. She's a great cook.
We didn't get to this point earlier, but Jonathan's actually my neighbor.
Oh,
Exactly right. Okay. Yeah, we were on the bus going to one of our things in leadership foresight, and he said, I heard you live by Westfield. I was like, yeah. He said, what neighbor? I said, Danbury Farms. He says, we're neighbors. I'm like, no, we're not. Because I'm like, this cannot be.
you said that earlier. I didn't make the connection.
I was like, no, that can't be. He's like, no, really. I'm like, no, you're lying. He's like, no, I live at Danbury Farm. And it was just so far-fetched. I just couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
Because so many things have been going on in my life lately with meeting all these great people and just all these things that are just coming together. I'm just like, that couldn't be. But it is. So that's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can swing by for some lamb chops.
That's right.
You sure could, man.
Yeah.
It is,
Been on the books.
it is phenomenal. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to do at the end of a stressful day?
My favorite thing to do at the end of a stressful day, I really am an introvert. So literally it would be to put on my headphones and just listen to some music. Early on in our marriage, and I've been married to my bride for 33 years, and she thought that I was mad at her about something because I'd come home and just kind of need to just shut down, and I said, no, babe, I'm just an introvert. It doesn't mean I don't like people. It's just I don't get my energy from people, so I need to go and just recharge and then come back, then I'm good.
Yep.
So that's probably just put my headphones on and just give me about 30 minutes. I'll go listen to some music and I'm good to go.
I call myself a forced extrovert. I'm severely introverted, but I make myself.
Yeah, it's learned behavior, which we learned through leadership foresight.
Yep.
You know, it is learned behavior because, and what happened to me was that it was a couple years after high school, and a friend of mine, I met with them for something, and they said, "You're not so stuck up after all." I said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I was shy." She said, "Well, you weren't talking about." I said, "Hey, I was shy." I said, "If I saw you walking the hall and I didn't know you that well, I wasn't gonna go and say, 'Hey, my name is John,' and all that." And she says, "And you hung around all the popular people." Well, where I went to high school, it was in my neighborhood. So I'd known everybody probably since the second grade, most of them.
Right.
So it just happened to be that the football star and the basketball star and the person that could sing really good and the great dancer, I just happened to know them already because we grew up together. So yes, I hung around them. And if I didn't know you, I didn't go introduce myself because I was shy. So there was a perception. And so that triggered me to go, how many other people think I'm stuck up? And how can that alter me from getting to the thing I'm called to do? Right. So I had to learn that behavior and meet people. But not that I had to be somebody different, but I had to be a better me. And a part of learning the behavior was a part of that process.
What's one item you can't live without?
One item I can't live without. I won't give a standard answer. It's probably my phone.
Okay, we're getting that a lot here later too. Yeah.
Nothing to see that answer. Like,
It's just that my schedule's on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's on my phone. So like everything's right there. So you know where I'm supposed to leave, where I'm going to when I leave here, I don't have it memorized probably. The meetings I have tomorrow, I don't have memorized, but they're on my phone. So if I didn't have my phone, there would be people. There'd be problems.
Yeah, I tell my wife if it's not on my calendar, it's not gonna happen.
That's right. I mean, the to-do list, my calendar, my contacts, everything. You know, so I would have a problem if I didn't have my phone.
Yep. Okay. Unfortunately.
do you have a favorite quote or mantra that you live by?
Favorite quote or mantra? A couple. You can't do everything, but you can do something. I remind the brothers of Forsyth that all the time. We cannot do everything, but you can do something, and we will. The other one is that you don't need to be a different person, but you do need to be a better you. Because some people go, "You're just trying to change me. You just want me to be somebody else." No. I need you. We all need you and our individualities.
Yep.
But you can be a better you. So don't get stuck just saying, "That's just how I am." Okay. You will be left behind and you will miss out on opportunities. So I think those two are probably my mantras.
I think that's awesome. I really do. Well, thank you for joining us.
Hey, man.
This was a great podcast. I really enjoyed hearing from you.
All right. That's good. Thank you guys for letting me be here.
Absolutely.
I hope most of it doesn't get edited.
No, we tried to just let it run long.
End up on the cutting room floor.
No.
I tell all my friends, they're like, "No, we didn't see it. We saw 3 minutes and that was it."
Yeah. Well, tell if you can't tell everybody where they can find your company, where they can find you on social media, if they get in touch with you.
Thank you. JonathanMHall.com is my website, Jonathan M. Hall, and I spell Jonathan like in the biblical sense, or just, JonathanMHall.com. You can Google me, find me there. I'm also on TikTok at JMH_Consulting.
All right.
And on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, I said that already, and all those wonderful things. So
everywhere you could find somebody, you can be found.
hey, so give me a follow, reach out to me. I love to help people be their best selves.
Yeah,
that's what I do.
That's awesome. Well, thanks again. And as always, you can find us at BettisMusgrove.com, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Bettis Musgrove, and then get the podcast anywhere you can get podcasts. So give us a call, look us up. Until next time, stay healthy, and God bless.
Best podcast ever.